All right, you animals, welcome back to the Drunken Rant Uncensored. It's time to get your drink on and your history fix.
Damn right. And after this week, I'm thinking we all deserve a damn strong one. Like, seriously.
Speaking of strong, what the hell are you drinking tonight?
Oh, you know me. Gotta keep it classy. Triple shot espresso martini. Gotta, stay energized for the shit show. Life, I mean.
Espresso martini, huh? Fancy pants. I'm sticking with my trusty craft beer.
More power to you.
But enough about our terrible, terrible life choices. Tonight, we're diving into a story, it's more scandalous than a politician's, deleted search history.
Ooh, now you've got my attention. Lay it on me.
Tonight, we're talking Chanel, baby. But hold your overpriced handbags, people. We're not talking about the runway or the latest, whatever, $1,000 bag. We're going deep into the life of Coco Chanel herself.
Coco Chanel, you mean like little black dress and perfume that costs more than my rent Chanel?
The one and only. And trust me, it gets darker than a goth kid's wardrobe.
Oh, God. Dude, tell what kind of dirt we digging up tonight?
Let's just say our girl Coco had a taste for more than just fashion.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. Hit me with it.
Tonight's deep dive, we're calling it Smells Like Fascism.
Chanel and Nazis. Holy shit, you've got to be kidding me. I am so in.
Buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to be a wild ride.
Oh, I'm ready.
But before we get into the nitty-gritty, be sure you hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, don't be an idiot. Subscribe.
So, you don't miss a single drop of this drunken historical tea.
Now we're talking.
All right, so let's rewind the clock back to 1909. Picture Paris, fashion capital of the world, right?
Always.
Enter a young, ambitious, and, let's be honest, probably a little ruthless Gabrielle Coco Chanel. She opens up a tiny hat shop.
Hats. Really? That's how the queen of fashion got her start.
Don't let the hats fool you. It was just the first step in her plan for world domination. Coco was a hustler. I mean, she saw what women wanted, and she gave it to them.
And back then, I'm guessing what they wanted was to burn all those damn corsets. Like, seriously, who thought those torture devices were a good idea?
Exactly. Coco, she was all about comfort, simplicity, ditch the corset, burn the bustle, and let women move freely. And she starts using this jersey fabric, the stuff they used to make men's underwear back then.
What up? Men's underwear. Talk about a fashion revolution.
Oh, it was revolutionary, all right. Suddenly women are ditching, the whalebone prison. They're embracing loose, comfortable clothing. Scandalous.
Those were the days.
And Coco, she's leading the charge. But, she didn't stop there.
Let me guess. This is where the perfume comes in.
You got it. 1921. She drops this little fragrance called Chanel No. 5. Still one of the most iconic perfumes in the world, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But what's even more iconic is her business savvy. She partners up with this guy, Pierre Wertheimer, to mass produce the stuff. But here's the kicker. Wertheimer ends up owning 70% of the company.
70%. Damn, that's a whole lot of dough. So Coco, she was a design genius. But Wertheimer, he was the brains behind the business.
Oh, for sure. Wertheimer, he was a sharp cookie. And this little partnership, well, let's just say it comes back to haunt Coco later on. But for now, she's riding high. It's, the roaring 20s are in full swing, flappers are shaking their asses, and Coco's the queen bee of the fashion scene. Life's a goddamn party, and everyone wants a piece of the Chanel action.
Man, I wish I was around for that. I would fit right in.
Knowing you probably would have stolen the show. But hold on to your cocktails, folks, because things are about to take a dark turn. Remember that whole Nazi thing I mentioned?
Yeah, how could I forget?
Well, we're about to step into the shitstorm that was World War II. And Coco's got a starring role.
Okay, here's where things get really interesting. And, messed up. I'm ready. Spill it.
Okay, so as the Nazis are, goose-stepping their way across Europe, guess who our girl Coco is getting cozy with? A charming fella named Hans Gunther von Dinklage.
Sounds innocent enough. What's the catch?
Just a tiny detail. He was a goddamn Nazi intelligence officer.
You're kidding, right? Coco Chanel and a Nazi, that's some seriously bad PR.
Oh, it gets so much worse. Remember Wertheimer, the guy who owned, most of her perfume empire?
Yeah.
Turns out he was Jewish.
Oh, no!
And when the Nazis start, kicking Jewish families out of France, Coco sees an opportunity.
Oh, no! Don't tell me she tried to use those Nazi laws to steal the company from him.
Bingo. She tries to use those anti-Semitic laws to snatch full control of Chanel.
Ambitious, right?
ambitious. I'd call it opportunistic and downright cruel. Talk about adding insult to injury.
Yeah, our girl wasn't afraid to play dirty. And get this, it almost worked. But Wertheimer was no fool. He already transferred ownership to a non-Jewish friend before fleeing the country. Checkmate, Coco.
Damn, Wertheimer played that perfectly. Outsmarted her and saved his business. That's gotta sting. Oh, it gets even crazier. Some folks believe Coco wasn't just a Nazi sympathizer, but a full-blown spy.
Call up a spy, like you mean with a secret code name and all that?
Yep, codename Westminster. She was allegedly tasked with passing a secret peace plan to Winston Churchill.
So we've got a fashion icon, a Nazi lover, and now a potential... This lady was living a double life.
And we're just getting started.
Oh my God, I can't wait to hear the rest.
We'll get into the spy stuff next. For now, let's raise a glass or a bottle, whatever you got, to the woman who could out crazy even us.
Cheers to that.
Don't go anywhere, folks.
Yeah.
Because the Chanel saga is just getting juicy.
We've got all the scandalous details. All right, so you left us hanging with that whole Coco Chanel super spy thing. What's the deal? Was she really, like, sneaking around, passing notes to Churchill, or is this just, a bunch of drunken historical gossip?
Well, the truth is, it's often murkier than a cheap bottle of tequila. Some historians, they think she was just, a pawn. Used by the Nazis because of her connections to British high society. Others, they believe she was, more actively involved, in their schemes. Maybe even using her fashion empire as, cover for espionage.
Okay, now I can totally see it. Secret messages sewn into the lining of a Chanel suit. Or maybe coded messages hidden in the scent of Chanel No. 5.
Don't give the conspiracy theorists any ideas. But seriously, whether she was a mastermind or just a useful idiot, her association with the Nazis, well, it wasn't exactly a good look. And when the war ended, well, let's just say the French weren't too thrilled about, having a Nazi collaborator strutting around their precious fashion scene.
Yeah, I'm guessing the French resistance wasn't exactly throwing her a welcome back party.
You got that right. They wanted her head on a silver platter. She was arrested, interrogated for collaborating with the enemy. It was a messy, complicated situation. Remember, collaboration during wartime, it wasn't always black and white.
Right.
There were, different levels of involvement, different motivations. Some people collaborated out of fear, some out of opportunism, and some, well, maybe they genuinely believed in the Nazi ideology.
Yeah, it's easy to judge from a distance, but being in the middle of that chaos, facing a brutal, occupying force, I can't imagine the choices people had to make.
Exactly. And Coco, well, she was a survivor. She did what she had to do to, protect herself and her business. Whether that was morally justifiable, well, that's a whole other debate.
So, what happened after her arrest? Did they, throw her in jail, make her sew Nazi uniforms for the rest of her days?
Surprisingly, no. She was released without charges. Rumor has it that Winston Churchill intervened on her behalf. Apparently, they were old acquaintances, and, he had a soft spot for the fashion icon.
Coco really knew how to work a room. Even a wartime prime minister wasn't immune to her charm.
She had that effect on people. But even with Churchill's help, the stain of her wartime activities, it lingered. She went into a self-imposed exile in Switzerland, spending a few years with her Nazi lover. Yeah, you heard that right.
Yeah.
She stuck with him even after the war.
Talk about loyalty. Or maybe just, really bad taste in men.
Yeah.
But Coco, being Coco, she couldn't stay away from the fashion world forever. In the 1950s, she decided, it was time for a comeback.
And what a comeback it was. She returned to Paris, ready to reclaim her throne as the queen of fashion. She launched new collections, introducing iconic pieces like the classic Chanel suit and the 2.55 handbag.
Wait, the 2.55? As in, February 1955, they named a handbag after its release date?
Yep, and it's still one of the most coveted bags in the world. Coco had a knack for creating timeless pieces, designs that, transcended trends and became instant classics.
But let's not forget her triumphant return. It was bankrolled by none other than Pierre Wertheimer, the same guy she tried to screw over during the war. That's gotta be awkward.
You'd think so, right?
Yeah.
But these were two, savvy business people. They put their differences aside and focused on what mattered, rebuilding the House of Chanel.
It's a testament to their ambition and, let's be honest, their greed. They saw the potential for profit and, they weren't going to let a little thing like a world war and a bit of attempted theft get in their way.
Exactly. They struck a deal. Coco got a fat paycheck and a cut of the profits, and Wertheimer, he maintained control of the company. It was a win-win for both of them.
Well, maybe more of a win for Wertheimer. He got the last laugh and the bigger piece of the pie.
True, but Coco got her name back on top, and she continued to create iconic designs until her death in 1971. And after she passed away, the Wertheimer family, they continued to build the Chanel empire.
They hired Karl Lagerfeld, who, let's face it, was like a design god.
Oh, yeah.
He took Coco's classic designs and gave them a modern twist, cementing Chanel's place as one of the most prestigious fashion houses in the world.
So there you have it, folks. The tale of Coco Chanel. A woman of immense talent, ambition, and, let's be honest, a healthy dose of ruthlessness. She revolutionized fashion, hobnobbed with Nazis, and ultimately built one of the most successful brands in history.
What a wild ride. I don't know about you folks at home, but my head is spinning. This woman was a walking contradiction, a fashion icon with a dark past, a feminist who used men to get ahead. It's enough to make you, question everything you thought you knew about her.
And that, my friends, is the beauty of history. It's messy, it's complicated, and it rarely fits neatly into our, preconceived notions. So, after all that, what do we make of Coco Chanel? Fashion revolutionary, Nazi sympathizer, brilliant businesswoman, master manipulator. I mean, it's a lot to process.
Seriously, it's enough to give you whiplash. Can you imagine, rocking a Chanel bag, knowing the woman behind it might have been, cozying up to Hitler?
It definitely puts a different spin on luxury, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We're talking about a woman who, she tried to profit from the persecution of her own business partner, all while creating these iconic designs that women around the world still covet.
It's a real head scratcher. On one hand, you've got this incredible legacy of, innovation, style, and on the other, you've got these morally reprehensible choices that are they're hard to ignore. So where does that leave us?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Can we, or should we, separate the art from the artist? I mean, can we still admire the clothes without, condoning the actions of the woman who created them?
It's a slippery slope for sure, and it's a question that comes up time and time again, not just with Coco Chanel, but with so many, artists, musicians, writers, people who've created these incredible works of art, but who've also done some pretty shitty things.
It's a tough one, and there's no easy answer, but that's what makes these conversations so important. We can't just, brush this stuff under the rug.
Yeah. We have to acknowledge the complexities, the contradictions, the good and the bad.
Exactly. We can't erase history, no matter how uncomfortable it makes us, but we can learn from it. We can use it to, spark these discussions, to challenge our own assumptions, and to, maybe even change the way we think about the world around us.
So what do you think, folks? Can we separate the art from the artist? Can we, rock a Chanel bag knowing about Coco's shady past? Hit us up in the comments. Let's get this conversation going.
Yeah, we want to hear your thoughts. Don't be shy. Tell us what you really think. After all, this is the drunken rant, where, no topic is off limits and no opinion is too controversial.
And while you're mulling over those deep philosophical questions, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more, boozy deep dives into history's underbelly.
We'll be back next week with another episode of the Drunken Rant Uncensored. Until then, stay thirsty, stay curious, and stay tuned.